What's going on, guys? Nathan here with another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary, here talking about the map Gravel Pit. Now, before we get into the commentary, I'd like to ask you guys to actually check out my previous video. It is an EOD-bot montage in Battlefield 3, and it took me a long time to edit, about 3 hours, which is probably more than was really necessary, but I think it's amusing, and it's definitely, will definitely entertain you for however long it is. I think it's like 2 minutes long or something, but I thought it was pretty amusing, so if you could go check that out, I'd be extremely grateful. But on to the topic. Now, Gravel Pit B, to me at least, didn't seem like it would be the quote-unquote perfect example of a Team Fortress 2 map, but if we actually look at some aspects that make good Team Fortress 2 maps, or that make TF2 maps good, then I think you might be surprised at how balanced Gravel Pit is. Actually, it is a statistic that when on Gravel Pit, blue does win 55% of the time, which is fairly balanced. I mean, compared to Gold Rush's 80%, that red always wins on that. And all of the links, or rather link to these statistics, will be in the link. Will be in the description down below. I got too many things on my mind. But basically, I have an article that I'm kind of using here to get some points on what makes a good TF2 map, and the link to it will be in the description. It is by Himmelstas, who must be a pretty good Team Fortress 2 map designer. This is dated November 14th, 2008, and I will basically be using it to find, or rather back up, some points that make a good Team Fortress 2 map, and he uses Gravel Pit B as an example, and after reading this, I realized that it is very balanced. I mean, once he brings in these points. So here we go. If you guys don't know B, the B point is with the gigantic shed, and it's pretty much the point that red defends. They usually abandon A first, which is kind of up a hillside, and then they go and defend B. So there's basically two like kind of general aspects that help make Team Fortress 2 maps good. It's encouraging teamwork and making sure every class has its own like niche in the map, or every class is viable. For example, if there aren't many long lines of sights for snipers to like snipe from, then people who will only play sniper and not anything else will disconnect from the map, and as a map maker, that's like the thing that you're trying to prevent. You want people to have fun and, you know, play whatever they want. Now, encouraging teamwork, that kind of ties in the same thing. I mean, you need to have each class do their job, but also mesh together well. I mean, that's kind of a goal. And his first point is that there are multiple ways to attack the control point. You have the two spawn doors. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I hope you do. So you have the one on the far left, and then there's one in the middle, and then there's like a C route, and then there's like a route that red can take, that's the shortest route, but then you can also, blue can really take that if they want to like loop all the way down from A, although it really wouldn't be worth it. But basically there's multiple ways to attack the control point, so, you know, red doesn't just win the game by just spamming the doors, basically blue spawn doors, so that's really good. It's also more or less open, so it's good for snipers, soldiers, and scouts, and this is where like the whole class balance comes in. So you have like snipers, soldiers, and scouts covered with that openness, but it also only has small health packs, so medics are very valuable as always. Now on to teamwork, and Gravel Pit B does this very well. Red, as the defending team, really needs to work as a team, covering all of the entry points that blue can come out of to basically discourage blue from attempting a push, or basically just getting out in the open where they could be a little bit more effective. Now blue, on the other hand, needs to counter this, usually by having, well, almost always actually, by having that one coming together as a team push that gets rid of red and helps capture that point. Now, the long capture point time on B also discourages solo caps, which is good because, you know, you're going to need your whole team standing on that point for it to be basically, I mean, they need to defend that point because red is going to counter attack. They are going to bring their own onslaught, and I think as a team, blue really needs to stand on that point and return, basically reverse their playstyle and play more defense on the point like red was just playing. So, I mean, standing out in the open too is like a good point. You're just gonna die if you just stand out in the open, because snipers are gonna kill you and pyros are gonna be roaming around, unless you have your team supporting you, providing suppressive fires such as firing rockets and basically spamming. And pyros with their burn damage can be pretty effective, being, I mean, you can put the fire out, but basically that little health pack will only restore what you lost. So, I mean, they can also extinguish teammates and stuff like that, but there are also like dark or out of the way places for spies to decloak and disguise. So spies can operate in somewhat of secrecy, which is kind of what you want. That's kind of what they're good at. And then you have like heavies are pretty effective because there are plenty of short to medium range-ish firefights that are going on. And then also the roof is accessible to soldiers and demoman with sticky jumping and rocket jumping, but that is also countered by the lack of health packs. And you could run the black box, but I mean, we're gonna like assume that you still want the default rocket launcher, being it's pretty much the best rocket launcher for the soldier. So then you have like the windows of the actual shed or building allow demoman to spam sentries, which are pretty much inevitable. So obviously engineers are covering the point, and you got like demoman. So all of the classes mesh really well. So Gravel Pit B does have a lot of aspects that are needed for a Team Fortress 2 map to be good, and I suppose that section of Gravel Pit is probably, I mean, it's very, very good. And if you look at it scientifically from a map designer's perspective, then yeah, it is a very, very good section of map. And that is all I have for you guys today. So thank you all for watching. As always, if you could leave a rating on the video, I'd be very appreciative. And if you want to, subscribe if you enjoy my content. And don't forget to check out that EODbot montage that I found was pretty amusing in its own way. But yeah, anyway, that's the video. So thank you all for watching once again, and peace out.